Ending a very, very successful lecture series, Tom. AARP is finishing up with Chris Gardner. Chris Gardner, of course, a name that you probably know. If you saw Will Smith's Pursuit of Happyness, then you're familiar with the man who brought himself from homelessness up by the bootstraps and turned out to be an enormous success. And he'll speak tonight. It's a sold-out performance, sold out for Mr. Chris Gardner. Don't take the pressure of the fact that everybody's coming to hear you tonight, Chris. You going to be okay with that?
Actually, it's sold out, but come anyway. The fire marshal's going to be there, so
Perfect.
We know people. Okay, it'll be okay.
Right. Everybody. We've had Rick Steves. We had Pepper Schwartz was there, and you come in there. And are you speaking primarily again about the pursuit of happiness and what you need to do?
I'm talking about what you need to be doing right now, today, in this environment. The Pursuit of Happiness, as great as that book was.
If you don't mind saying so yourself.
The film was great. The book was better.
Yeah.
The point is, the film was about 1 year of my life, one critical year. I was 28 years old, but there were 27 years before that. And I had a chance in the book to talk about, well, this is why I was able to make it through this very, very difficult and challenging time. That's a long-winded way of saying that the book that came after that, Start Where You Are, was more about what I would be doing right now, today. It's very interesting. That book came out at the very beginning of the global financial crises.
That's right.
And the book was born on a train. I'm in New York City doing my day job, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. At this point of time in the day, the train should have been empty. But on this day, the train was jam-packed. And I'm trying to figure out, what's going on here? And a guy recognizes me. Hey, you're Chris Gardner? Yeah. We start talking. Turns out I'm on the train with the first wave of 55,000 people who had lost their jobs at Citibank.
Wow.
And you look around, and everybody had that box. You know the box you see on television? They got their coffee cups, their degrees.
Tom's got his box ready to go.
Right.
Tom has probably used his box more than once.
He has not.
Really?
Because I'm always prepared. It never has happened.
Right. He's never had to go to the box, Gardner. Never. So you're in there with all those people. They have been washed out. The Flopsam and Jetsam of the great economic downturn. If you could have stood up on that train while they were all there, and as the train is moving along, what would you have said to them?
I did say it to him. Once I knew who I was on the train with, I started talking.
You stood up and started talking to the people on the train?
I started speaking a little bit louder. And I started saying, you know what? You lost your job, but you have not lost your skills, your talent, or your expertise. Skills, talent, and expertise are transferable. Why not focus on transferring those things into doing something that now you're truly passionate about? The killer is, I heard from that young man a year later, and he said to me, you know what? Me and some of my colleagues, we thought about what you said on the train, and we figured out if we put together what was left of our 401ks, we could start our own company. That's what we just did. We don't have the perks we used to. We don't have the pay we used to, but we own this. And by the way, the first institution to hire us was our old employer at Citibank. Start where you are.
What stops most people?
Fear. Fear of success and fear of failure. And the fear of failure is greater. A lot of people say, well, oh, man, you start your company, you start your own business, you're on your own. What if this happens? What if that happens? You know what? What if you're working for another one of these Fortune 500 companies, and one day Bob comes down the hall with that list, and your name is on it? Meaning that list of folks who don't have to come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
That fear and that powerlessness is greater than the fear of opening the door on your own business. When you're running your own shop, you know where the risks are.
But Chris Gardner, you have a certain set of skills that a lot of other people don't have. to be able to come from homelessness, to be able to find yourself in a parking lot. We were reading this bio. You're in a parking lot and some guy pulls up in a Ferrari and you're going to give up the spot. You were selling medical supplies. You were at a hospital and you said to the guy, hey, I'll let you have my spot, but you got to answer 2 questions for me.
2 questions. What do you do and how do you do that?
Okay. That's how'd you get the Ferrari? And he said to you, I'm a stockbroker.
Mm-hmm.
So then you said at that point, well, that's what I want.
Well, you know what? No. See, this goes back to the importance of the book. I had made the decision.
Available on Amazon.
I had made the decision a long time ago as a young guy.
Yeah.
I wanted to become world class at whatever I did with my life.
Mm-hmm.
I just had to find that one thing that turned me on as much as a previous ambition, which was to become Miles Davis.
Right.
Okay?
Yes.
That wasn't going to happen. I had to look at the facts. At 18 years of age, Miles Davis was in New York City playing with Quincy Jones and Dizzy Gillespie. At the same age, I was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, playing with some boys named Pookie and Ray Ray.
You even play the trumpet?
Man, let me tell you something. The point is, I made a decision. I want to do something, and I want to become world-class at it. I just had to find that one thing that turned me on as much as the music did. And when I walked into a Wall Street trading room for the first time, I knew, whoa, this is it.
Now, why? What is that? I get Miles Davis. Everybody wants to be a musician when they're a certain age in life. But what is it about stocks that just started you on this upward swing?
Man,
it's not that interesting to a lot of people.
When I walked in that room and the ticket tape is rolling, the phones are ringing off the hook, people are screaming and shouting out orders, bodies are flying all over the place.
The energy?
Tickets are getting stamped. It was like, whoa, I could feel it. It was like I was reading a sheet of music, Tom.
Huh.
But were you pursuing? Is it because did you want to at that point be the best stockbroker you could possibly be, or the best in the world, or you just wanted all the material things that came with it?
No, I wanted to be world class at something that I did. I remember hearing Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once say, "Whatever you're going to do with your life, you should seek to become the best at it."
Mm-hmm.
I believe the exact words were, "If you're going to be a garbage man, you should seek to become the best garbage man." And those words from Dr. King and the lessons from my mom, who told me every day that you can do or be anything, all I needed to do was find the button.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? A lot of people right now, honestly, man, they see that light blinking, that button, but they're afraid to push it.
I always found, because I quit my job, I sold medical supplies in 1989. I was making $130,000 a year. And I did the same thing. I was covering Philadelphia, New Jersey, and Delaware. I had all the distributors, and I was doing that thing. And I wanted to quit and become a TV weatherman. And not one person, not one member of my family supported me.
And you should not have been surprised at that. And that's what I mean. When you push that button, everybody's not going to dig it. Everybody's not going to be able to see you doing that.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's okay. That's fine.
But I'm saying, you say fear. I also think that people, the friends around you, hold you back.
Get some new friends.
So I have a question for you now about the Miles Davis, though. A lot of people don't move from wanting to be Miles Davis to wanting to be the world's best stockbroker.
Yeah.
They keep saying, no, I'm going to be the best. I'm going to be the next Miles Davis. How do you convince people that they're not going to be the Miles Davis?
You know what happened for me was we had a conversation. One time, my mother heard me tell somebody that I was going to become Miles Davis.
Okay.
And we sat down at the kitchen table. Now, I don't know how this worked at your house, but at our house, when you got called to the kitchen table and it was not supper time, that was not good news.
No.
I was kind of like going to the Supreme Court. A ruling was about to come down, right?
It's like 3 in the afternoon.
Right? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And she says to me with all the love, "Baby, you're pretty good with that thing, but you can't become Miles Davis. He's got that job." She went on to say, "You can't be Miles, but you can become like Miles in your own way, right? You got to become the best Chris Gardner in the world." And that was my decision. That was it.
Are you constantly being asked to speak to young black men?
I am constantly speaking to men all around the world. And the things that I talk about are universal. And the most important experiences in all of our lives are the universal experiences. The birth of a child, a graduation, a wedding, a new job, a new business, a new home, the loss of a loved one. Those are universal experiences. I talk to everybody, okay? One of the things that I learned about public speaking, I learned from the former governor of Alabama, George Wallace, who once said, you got to keep your message so low a goat can get at it. And let me tell you this, and I'm so glad you asked me that.
Yeah.
I knew I got it right when I did something once that Barack Obama could never do.
What's that?
I got a standing ovation in Texas. Man,
a lot of goats in Texas.
I'm talking to
did you hear that? Whoa. You hear that?
What?
He just said a lot of goats in Texas.
Well, you know what? Them goats are eating good.
That's right.
If you look at the economic situation in Texas, folks down there doing all right now.
They are.
That's true. That's very true.
Tom, in the final 30 seconds, anything you want to say to Chris before we go?
How much did your personality play in your success? Because you've got one of these great personalities.
Right.
You know what, man? Look, I am just being blessed. I'm being blessed. I'm healthy. As a single parent, I've raised 2 children that have become special young people, and I'm in a position to do what I want with my life.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
That's a lot, baby.
Well, hey, baby.
And a great personality to go along.
Chris, we'll see you tonight. I'm your MC, so act like you know me when we get there.
Okay, all right.
I'll introduce you.
All right, we'll come up with some good stuff.
I'll come up with something good.
Okay,
something better than this morning is what he just was implying.
Right, come on.
It's tonight at Seattle Central at the Broadway Performance Hall. It's packed, but as Chris says, come anyway.
Come anyway.
I don't think they're going to appreciate that.
Well, the fire marshal's going to be there, so don't worry about it.
He needs to hear the message as well. We'll take a quick break. Come right back.